Hello, and welcome to Insightful Conversations with your host, Three Principles Practitioner, Adey-Jones. Join her each week as she welcomes some of the world's leading Three Principles teachers and practitioners who share how this understanding has dramatically improved the quality of their lives and the lives of those they work with.
I'm so happy to have with me today Dave Saunders. Dave discovered that he'd been living in his negative thinking whilst on a group in prison called Beyond Recovery. After his initial insight, Dave went on a journey of discovery. Not only did he experience peace of mind for the first time in his life, he discovered answers to questions he didn't even know he had, and he started to experience more compassion, empathy, and love. Dave hasn't just turned his life around, he has a totally different life. He has trained as a Beyond Recovery practitioner and a mentor, and he is dedicated to helping and showing those who are suffering how to have an easier life through the understanding of the three principles. Welcome, Dave. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Well, I first saw you at the London conference last year, and you gave an incredible opening speech, riveted, we all were. So let's start there. You shared a bit about what your life was like before you came across this understanding. So give us a little bit of background.
So basically, I grew up, my mum and dad had me when they were very young. My mum was 14 when she got pregnant with me, and my dad was 15, and that was in 1980. It was different times compared to where it is now. Now it's quite normal for teenagers to have children that young, but so it's different times. But growing up, my family, one side, my dad's side of the family, like travellers, and my mum's side isn't. But so it's like growing up in two worlds. I was brought up on a council estate around crime, drugs. There was just about to be a justification and only cannabis, but it was only cannabis. It was totally different to the drug culture now. It was a lot more relaxed, and it was different times. But just growing up, I just always felt disconnected, even though there was always a house full of people and not unloved, but I just felt like the odd one out, that I just didn't, not that I didn't belong, but just didn't get what was going on. And I suppose I weren't meant to, because I was a kid. Just growing up, I was very insecure, and that. But I don't know. It must have been. Life was pretty good, but we had the best of everything. On the outside, everything looked good. We always had the best clothes and motorbikes and cars, stock cars, and I was spoiled. I was really spoiled. From the outside look in, I suppose it just looked like a really happy family. I suppose a lot of the time we was. But growing up, I just felt more left out. Even though I wasn't, I'm fully aware it was my thinking about it now with this understanding. But I just felt when I was growing up, my dad's mental health got worse with the more drugs that he'd done. As these drugs started getting worse, moving away from cannabis, and he used to be very abusive and aggressive, and not so much physical violence, but it was always the threat of violence. I think, to be fair, it's probably can be worse. It's if you know you're getting hit, but it's just thinking you're going to get hit and waiting for it. It's just like it's a mind game within itself.
Totally.
So I just felt disconnected, and he used to always put me down. I was dyslexic. I'm dyslexic, but there was no such thing as dyslexia back when I was at school. It's just classed as being stupid. So I just played up to that because I couldn't put it into words. I didn't understand it myself. I just knew it just didn't make sense, but I just didn't know how to tell the teacher. So I just muck around and just get kicked out of class and schools and end up in naughty boys' school. But then when I found drugs, cannabis didn't really agree with me. It made me feel sick, and I carried on smoking it. But when I was must have been 15, I found ecstasy. I didn't find it. I stole it off my dad, to be fair. I didn't find it. The first time I took it, but it was it kind of gave me them feelings that I thought that I'd always been missing, that loved up feeling, that connection. And when it was different times, even going out clubbing, you'd have people that was on ecstasy and they'd all be loved up, and people coming up to you and giving you cigarettes and bottles of water. You can't even smoke in places now, let alone anything else. But yeah, it was just a totally different atmosphere. People was out to enjoy themselves, and to me, it was just, yeah, I just really enjoyed it. And like I said, it was that feeling that I thought that I'd always been missing. So it started off on a Friday, I'd take them, then it would go on to a Saturday, then it'd be the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then before you know it, you're taking them every day. Then you're taking them for breakfast. Well, me, not not normal people don't, but I take them for breakfast and just taking them because that's what I thought made me feel better. But I had a lot of good times on drugs. As a bottom line, I've had some really good experiences. I've had some really bad ones too. But for me personally, I've always used drugs from that age as a tool. Since then, if I was feeling really high, I'd smoke something. Well, no matter what mood I was in, I'd have a drug for.
Yeah.
Now, I could always.
Was it the drugs that got you to prison? Because I know that it's when you were in prison that you actually first came across the principles. But how did you end up in prison, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I wouldn't say it was the drugs because I was always. This is where I was always. To me, crime was normal. I was brought up on a council estate. My dad was out stealing cars and motorbikes, and I'll come down there. There'll be like shops where they've done ram raids, like shops for the clothes or toy, whatever it was. Crime was normal. When the police would come round to raid the house, it was a joke.
Wow.
Like the police couldn't get in the house, and crowbars out the window to them and just take the mickey. So it was just a bit of a joke.
Wow.
To me, it was not if I went to prison, but when.
Wow.
It was kind of always on the cards. It had to happen, but it was always going to happen. The first time I went to prison was 17, and I hated it. There was no tellies or power in the cells or anything like that. It was very strict then. It was a young offenders institution. So I was banged up for 23 hours a day. I couldn't read and write at all. You know, it was I was bullied quite a lot. And in the end, I ended up learning to read, taught myself to read and write, messed around a lot. But got out a teenager, and prison's just a school for learning crime. Got out, got worse. My crimes just got worse. Went back to prison. Second time, got out, my crimes got even worse. You know, I was reading these books, all the old gangster books, and that's all I always wanted to be, is just a criminal. It was just an easy life because we had it so good growing up. There's always plenty of money in the house, and we never went without. It was just a way of life, you know, and it's just an easy way of life.
It's fascinating. I mean, I'm not surprised by. I mean, everything you're telling me, I can completely understand how you would end up where you were. But I want to get to, you mentioned something in the talk in London, and it was amazing. You said that before you came across the understanding of the principles, you would be sort of seeing somebody old and frail that fell over. Do you remember that story you told, and how you see that now?
Prison changed me into not a nice person. I just adapt to the environment I'm in. But before, it was literally, I didn't care. I had no victim empathy. It was all about me and what I can get out of people. Like, even if I'd be having a conversation with you, for example, in my mind, I'm thinking, what can I get? Like, how can I hustle her for something or other? It was just, everything was just everyone was a potential victim. Yes, I didn't discriminate, to be fair. Young, old, thin, fat, whatever. Like, it was just, if you had something, I took it. And I didn't care, because that's just the person I was. Then to skip forward to all these being released this year, then working I was on a break, so I work. was walking along the road and I see an old lady fall over at the other side of the road, and people were just walking past. Literally, was just walking, and I got mad. The fact that no one stopped to help them. I mean, so I was like, "What is wrong with you people?" Like this. Well, sorry, but I was really swearing. Like in my head, it really bugged me that like there's an old lady fell over in front of you, and like you're just walking past like it's nothing. So I crossed the road to help her up. But also, I also know that I would have been one of them people before.
But isn't that amazing? I mean, some people say that, if you don't have empathy early on in life, that you're that's it. You can't get empathy. You're a done deal. But it's amazing to hear your story because it really is. I mean, tell me a bit more about that your first insight.
Right. Well, basically, my very first insight, my life just went on and on and on to get to the stage of like 10 days of my life. My baby died. I got death on my chest. But so going back, when I was in Young Offenders Institute, prison, we had no TVs or anything like that. It was literally you banged up till all you had to do was think. But I used to dream about having a normal life, if there was such a thing. That's what I always kind of wanted. I didn't know what that was, but yeah, then skip through a few years and basically my baby died of cot death on my chest. 10 days later, someone hit my gaff, then I hit them once. He fell over and hit his head and died.
Oh dear.
That was on a Monday. The next day I woke up, my girlfriend had killed herself. She was dead next to me.
Oh my God.
On the Tuesday, so I got arrested for murder. On the Wednesday, on my 23rd birthday, I got charged and went to prison on went to prison on the Thursday. On the Friday, I went to my baby's funeral, handcuffed, and it was not
oh my God,
it wasn't a good time. Put it that way. Then
more than anybody could bear.
I see the prison doctor, and the prison doctor said you've got something worse to the effect like you need to stop feeling sorry for yourself. This is not the place to feel sorry. Like, hold on, baby, just being my baby, and I'm sitting in your office crying. Where else am I meant to do it if it's not in front of a doctor? Yeah. So that kind of set my thinking off towards people. And just after time, then I ended up PTSD. So I literally relived my baby dying every night for over 7 years. I ended up serving 12 years before I got the understanding. And it was just literally one crime from the other. When I was released from prison, it was just drugs and just using and abusing people, taking advantage of people, just like I always done. I kind of just accepted the fact that was always going to be my life, that I was broke, that no one could love me, that I'm worthless, and that my life is always going to be misery. It's always going to be pain and struggle. So my plans for next time I get released from prison was just go hard, like rob anyone as I can, earn as much money as I can, sleep around as much as I can. And that was kind of it. So I got kicked out of a prison for fighting and ended up in Only where Jacqueline and that was. And so I got caught on a visit with drugs, and that way I didn't actually get them, but I just said to the drugs workers come and see me. I just put me down for every course there is. And it just happens to be the first one was beyond recovery. And I was very judgmental towards them. I just couldn't accept that someone could be happy for the sake of being happy, that someone could generally just smile and just, to me, they were fake, they were false. I was just literally sitting waiting for them to drop their guard because I was so cynical of everything. Then I went back on the second session, literally to sell drugs to someone, to give someone some drugs. That was the only real reason I went back. And at the beginning of the group, they say, be open to learning anything new. Leave your ego and what you think you know at the door. You can always pick it up on the way out if you don't learn nothing. And if we say bring it back into the room, it's nothing personal. It's because you've gone off a topic. But so they make that clear at the beginning of the group. It's nothing personal. So on the second session, I was making an inappropriate comment, and Anna Debenham was doing what we call the River of Thought, explaining how we have like between 60 and 120,000 thoughts a day, and our thoughts neutral, that we just only has a power we give it. But she's explaining that, and I was just talking, and Liliana said, bring it back into the room. So I've literally looked to the bloke to my right, to Liliana, and it was like, what? Who's you talking to? What did you say? You made me look stupid. And I just started stacking them thoughts, and it got real bad, the things I was thinking. It was like, I was sitting there, and I was physically shaking.
Yeah.
It felt like she had slapped me in the face. I was that mad, and I literally looked from Lily to Anna to the board, and my life changed.
Wow.
My insight, it was like 20 odd years of getting on for 25 years, I guess, of just crap. I don't know, like just all this baggage that I've been carrying around with me, all this insecurity. And obviously I didn't know that I was insecure.
No,
I didn't understand that, but I just thought I had a lot of issues, but I didn't realise exactly how many issues I had until they kind of fell away.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was so in my negative way of thinking, and I'd always thought that way. That was me. I didn't know you could think no other way. Yeah, and it was just literally, my life just changed. I think I sat there and cried, and I realised that I've been living in my negative thinking, that literally all I did was negative. The books that I read was negative. The TV that I read was negative. Every conversation I had with people was negative, like crime and all that sort of negative stuff. So I literally surrounded myself with negativity. And funny enough, my life was negative. I was surprised. But yeah, and it's
I find it fascinating, though, that and especially being triggered in that moment, feeling, taking that personally and feeling that you'd been put down in front of for you to let go of a lifetime of what it helped create you, who you were in that moment. You're thinking of those times, and you've had some pretty dramatic experiences in your life. For you to get it that fast is utterly amazing to me.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of this understanding. You literally never know when someone's going to hear something. Yeah, I have no idea. Like, that was my fourth hour. Second session's first hour into the second session, so 4 hours. But I've seen first-handing groups of people in the first session. 10 sessions in. Never, not even in sessions. People come up to 6 months later. Oh, remember when you said that? I realised, like, I understand what you meant. Is this what you meant? And they start firing off questions like, did I have this conversation with you? Quite clearly, did do, because you must. Well, but yeah, that's the beauty. You never know. And it's just, but it wasn't plain sailing. It was literally, I still had a lot of drugs. I was still involved in that culture, that environment. That was on a Thursday. Oh, and Anna Debenham read a bit of The Missing Link. And just as if I didn't know what had happened, I just knew something had happened. Like all this, I just didn't feel that weight on my shoulders. Call it a monkey on my shoulder, whatever you want to call it. I just didn't feel all that negative. I just felt free. But Anna read a bit of The Missing Link. I can't remember what bit, but as a throwaway thought, as I walked out the door, I said, Miss, what was that book you read? And she just passed me a copy, The Missing Link. That was on the Thursday morning. I didn't think nothing else. I went back to my cell, and I don't even know. I went and had a joint and took some more drugs, because that's what I did. That's all I knew. That was my learned behaviour. Yes, Saturday morning, Friday. I think I know I was preaching and telling people about this group and all day the Friday. Then the Saturday morning, we was locked up. We wasn't getting open in the morning. So I woke up. I used to wake up early so I could do more drugs, get more drugs in through the day, and be a bit of peace. In prison, it's always noisy. Like, there's always someone shouting, screaming, or music, or doors opening or shutting. And so early in the morning, when everyone's asleep, it's only time that it's kind of quiet. So I used to get up and do drugs on my own and enjoy it. But on the Saturday I literally woke up and I thought I rolled a joint. So I went to get something to roll it on it, and it was a missing link. I thought, oh, let me just have a look what I've got in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know how to explain it. There's reading and there's reading. Like all the books that I've read before, like they're all crime. So in my head, I'm picturing what the people look like and all this, and making up stories into the story and how I would be in that story and all sorts of just egotistical rubbish, really, to be fair. But with that, it was different. It just I didn't understand it, like, but I mean, I did understand it. I can't really put it into words, but it was like I'd read a line and I couldn't move on. My eyes physically wouldn't move on until I got the meaning behind it. I actually knew what he was talking about. Like the words like spoke to me, like I see into them. And that's why I say I've got answers to questions that I didn't know I was looking for.
Wow.
Like all these answers, and it was like I've never cried reading the book, but they were just, I was crying, and it was like, I wish I had Winter Wife. It was like I didn't want to read, but I didn't want to stop reading. It was like one of them things. It was just such a surreal moment for, well, a couple of hours, because like I'm crying. Hold on, I'm this big macho man. I spent half my life doing drugs, so I don't show emotion or show fear and all that sort of thing. And it did help that I was a bit on my own cell, to be fair. But no, it's just but a real big thing. Like his quotes, like he says that we've all got mental health in us. It's how we deal with it. I can't remember word for word, but basically, it's what that said to me is like, hold on, I'm not broke. I don't need fixing. That I'm the same as everyone. That we're all the same. That it's just because I've been thinking negative that's my life. So it's little things. Well, not little. They're actually massive things on their own that had such a big impact on me. And I just had all these insights, and I didn't realise they were insights at the time. I didn't know they were called insights. I just, it was kind of strange. And that was on a Saturday, and an incident happened a few days later, and it was just about to kick off. I was just about to start fighting with a load of boys, and you'll just see, like, hold on, I don't have to fight. I literally don't have to fight no more. I just shut my cell door. They say behind my cell door for a couple of weeks and just read and just. I still had drugs. That was a problem. I was just getting off my nut, but but it was just like, but just to realise that I don't have to fight. It's like I've been fighting my whole life.
That's massive.
Furthermore, I've been fighting like. So the dog, it opens the door. It amazes me every time she does it. So I've got to let her out.
That's okay. Let her join you.
No, she wants to go out. She lets herself out in the garden as well. Probably she can open the door, but she can't close it. She's smart, but not that smart.
That's funny. Wow, what an inspirational story. I mean, it's pretty incredible. And I mean, I can see why you would become a Beyond Recovery practitioner. And so how long have you been doing that now, helping other people?
Well, but this took me a long stage to get to where I am now. I wasn't grounded. I just knew something had happened, and I just knew, and I know everyone says it, but I'm this bad, so if it can work for me, it can work for you. I really was that bad. So if it can work for me, it can really work for anyone. But the easiest way for me to explain it is like, fundamentally, everyone wants money. Like everyone wants to be, because everyone associates having happiness with money, don't they? Without this understanding. So really, it's like winning the lottery and not sharing it. Like I feel compelled to just share this lottery that I've won because I have won the lottery. Like money cannot buy this. I've had money. I've not had money. But it is, and that's why I really see how it doesn't make sense. But sorry, it's it took me a long time to get to this stage. I didn't know that I was insecure, but then I know that I'm insecure, and I do drink on drugs and violence to deal with the insecurity. But I didn't know that I was insecure, and that's what I used. But hold on, now I know that I'm insecure, and I'm not doing the drugs and the violence. So like, so what do I do? Like, what am I?
Yeah.
And that's why insecurity and ego, I really see into that, how they're one and the same. They are exactly the same. Two sides of the same coin, aren't they?
Yeah.
Insecurity and ego. Well, for me, what I see in it is they are. But yeah, and I can really see how my ego has got me into so much trouble. My insecurity and not trusting myself, not trusting that little voice. That's something that's only happened just recently. I used to always just ask Jacqueline or ask one of the other facilitators or ask anyone else because I was such poor at making the right decisions for myself. I didn't trust myself to make the right decisions because my decisions always ended badly for me, but mainly for other people, my victims. Yeah, so it's just learning to trust myself. But I've had this understanding for about 3 years. I went back as a peer mentor just to sit in groups and help, and yeah, it just kind of snowballed from there. Me and Alfie and Kay are the first people to do. Well, me and Alfie actually was the first people to finish the Beyond Recovery Facilitator course. They kind of made it up for us. But that was such a great experience. We kind of set up our own mini conference in prison. We had people, I think there's 30 people from the outside world come in. We had prison officers and stuff come in for the day for our graduation. So that was really good. But
sorry, I was going to say, and I know you're talking at a conference coming up in May in Minnesota, is it? Oh,
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's my past. America's not the
Oh,
easiest
dear.
place to get into, is it?
Yeah.
So my past can be a problem. But even that, it's the fact that I've been asked is a massive thing, and especially coming from Joe Bailey, because I got so much out of the Serenity Principles. It's probably up there with, it's my top three Serenity Principles. It's just yeah, it's a great book. And I got to meet him. He come into prison and done a talk, so I got to meet him, and yeah, it was a great experience. And I've spoke to him on Zoom since I've been out, and yeah, to be asked, it's an honour.
Yeah.
And going back to the conference that this year, what it was, and just after I got this understanding, Jacqueline said, "Oh, she was going to a conference and she was going to talk," and I didn't really think nothing of it. Then what happened is, I think a couple of days before the conference, and she come to me and she said, "Can she use my story?" So I've said yes. I can't say no to Jacqueline. Like literally, Jacqueline saved my life. She saved so many other lives as a knock-on effect from saving my life. Like there's nothing I could say no to her. But she said, so I said, yeah. She said, "Oh, I need you to write it down. I'll come back in a couple of hours." Like, oh, my old thinking kicks straight back in. I'm dyslexic. I'm thick. I can't read. Like, furthermore, what am I going to write? It's like if I said to you now, you've got an hour to write your life story. It's like,
no, I wouldn't be able to do it
literally. No, but exactly that. It's like, where do you start? What do you say? And plus, I had to go to one of the A's, AA or NA. That's how much I was in my head. I don't even know where I was for an hour. I was thinking about what I was going to say, worrying about that the whole hour that I was in NA or AA, one of the A's. And got back to my cell and I just sat down and I just wrote. And I ended up, I think, about 5 pages. And one of the things I said was about thank you for me and my future victims. And then I just didn't think nothing else of it. I just said the same story that 10 days of my life that I've told 1,000 times. Like before, it meant nothing to me. I was so used to just going over it and saying the same thing. But yeah, a couple of weeks later, Jacqueline come in and she said, "Oh, my letter got read out, and there were 750 people there, and I got a standing ovation." I'm like, "Oh yeah, she's just being nice. She's exaggerating, and probably like 2 people stood up." But that's my insecurities keep back in, because I'm thinking, well, what good can something I've written done?
Yeah.
You can't. No one's going to get anything from that. But funny enough, someone actually wrote to me from the conference, my letter, and she wrote it to me, and she give it to Jacqueline. Jacqueline give me a letter, and it just blew me away, that the fact that some good can actually come from my stories. So from then on, I just felt a real connection with the conference, even though I hadn't been there. So yeah, the second year I wrote a follow-up letter, and the third year I wrote one, but that didn't turn up. And the fourth year I got to be there, and it was it was kind of straight. No, it was a. I can't think of one word to describe it. It was
inspirational. I was there. It really was. And I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for all the work that you've done, and for you, recognizing that the insecurity was there, and that, when you said you won the jackpot. I mean, how can you hold that in when you know how much it's impacted you? And I think that pushes beyond the insecurity, the knowing that you have something that can help other people. I just want to thank you so much. I mean, you're doing amazing work in the world, and can't wait to interview you again and catch up more.
I'll see you at the conference, hopefully.
Yes, that would be lovely. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.